all the place, it won't be. Okay, this one. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to make, and let me also get a picture. So this didn't bleed through, so the surface to use, wax tape I've already used. Okay, I gotta take it off if I was ever on camera. I'm gonna pick up those little pieces of glue that's in them. Because you will. Hey, how's it going? What you heard were audio glitches in some of my videos. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you how you can fix them in your videos and how you can prevent them from happening in future videos. So, you know, the first time that I ever saw, or not saw, it's an audio. The first time I ever heard an audio distortion or an audio glitch was June 2018, and I was reviewing one of the Thing videos, and there was just a moment of silence. I guess it was between my talking, and I heard what sounded like a man's yell. And it was very short, very loud, and very disturbing at that time. And I was like, what was that? Oh my goodness. What am I going to do? What is wrong with this video? I had no idea what it was. I didn't know at the time that it was an audio glitch or an audio distortion or anything like that. I did play it back against my better judgment at that time. I played it back, I turned up the volume, and it creeped me out even more. So I was just like, okay, I'm not using this camera anymore. And it was a Sony Handycam. I thought there was something terribly wrong with it. And that there was nothing wrong with the camcorder. And then the next time that I heard the next audio distortion was a complete sentence. And it was me talking, but it wasn't fitting into the project or the craft that I was working on and video recording. So I thought it was weird, and I said, maybe it's better like that, but it was distorted. So what I did was I played it back a few times. I increased the volume to listen to it more clearly, I guess. And that's when I determined that it was my voice. It just wasn't in my tone of voice. And it was kind of unsettling too then. And I can't find that video usually. I take note of it or I write it down or something, the video file name, and then at what point in the video I hear that sound. And I didn't do that. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's so weird and so not like me. So I'm still looking for that video. And in the process of looking for that video and listening to a lot of videos, I found these other glitches that I ran through, you know, before even my opening. And it's just so weird, right? The one that I find the most comical is this last one right here. And I put some audio points in there because at this point here, right here, I'm putting the scissors down kind of loudly, and then there's that sound, that yay, you know, type of, like my voice is cracking or something. I'm thinking, wow, that was kind of funny. Every time I hear that, I kind of laugh at it. And then this one right here, this is very loud. I did turn up the volume on this one to 125, but it's really not necessary to turn up the volume because this can be This can be heard even at a low level. So here's what it is at 125. And here's what it sounds like, you know, a little bit lower. I don't know what that is, but I don't have any audio point there to tell me what it is. See, it's still very distinguishable. And I thought, what is that sound? Because it doesn't make sense to... I left some of this stuff in so you can hear me talking, so you can see that it's an audio glitch and not part of the video itself. So here I'm talking about wax paper. So why is there a knock knock there? You know, it's weird. Wax paper I've already used. And then I'm just like, if I would have made that noise, that knock knock like that, I would have said, oh, that was too loud, I'm sorry, I'll try and lower the volume on that. But I never said anything like that. So that's how I know that that's an audio distortion. Then the one after the tink, where I have the tink here, I found two tinks. This one in particular comes... It's more like a click, right? When you hear it, it sounds more like a click. And that sound usually comes, it's much lower in volume, and it usually comes before, this is at the very beginning of Thing 79's video, and usually what comes before my greeting, my hey, how's it going, there's a little click, and that's just me turning the camcorder on, and that sound is recorded. So that's what I was listening for, so that I could delete that sound and then get to my greeting. Because there's usually a space between the time I turn on the camera and the time I speak. So it was weird for me to hear, hey, how's it going? And then to hear the click, and I thought, well, that's weird. Why is there a... You know, and I've heard that before, too. And I didn't think anything of it, like, well, it's weird to hear that click. Why does that click happen there? You know, but not really think anything of it. The other one that's included into the tink is... That's this one right here. And... when I found this one, I didn't realize that this one also contains, back here, contains another sound that could be an audio distortion or a glitch, but I'm not really sure. So this is the one that really makes a tink sound. It's kind of, you have to listen closely. So it's like tink, like that. This one, when I first set up this this video in Camtasia 2019, I had these two, this one and this one, were together. They were not split at all. And what I did was, I had this one already split. So I started my video here, and then I went through it. And I thought, did I sneeze? Like, what is that sound? So this is like a sneeze and a tink type of deal. So I went all the way back here to listen to it. So you might want to listen to it, because right here I say the word don't, but I kind of drag it out, so it almost sounds like it's part of my word. So it's very hard to tell if it's an audio glitch or if it's the tail end of that word that I'm saying. So I'm going to play that for you. Also get a picture. So this didn't... It's very hard. And then tink. It's very hard to tell. Also get a picture. So this didn't... Because I do this didn't, and I drag out that word didn't. So to me, it might actually be removed, or I'll see if I can remove it. It's Thing 83. I haven't edited that video yet, so I'll see what I can do there. Then that was the other tink, right? I'm going backwards. And then this one, this is the most disturbing one. This one does not appear at all in the video, the already rendered, edited and rendered video for Things 77 and 78. But this one is disturbing, you know. It's like, it's something I didn't expect, and I kind of jumped when I first heard it. Okay. I was like, what? What is that? You know, I kept playing it back, because I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I'm thinking, what is that? That is so strange. So those are very disturbing. Now, the way to get rid of the audio glitches or distortions that are already in your videos is to, if you can, delete that portion. Now, this one, this whole thing right here, it was part of something that I could totally leave out of the video, and I did. I had another area where I was talking about, I had just fixed my PC, I just replaced certain parts, and I was demonstrating how my computer's not making a weird sound anymore when I'm in Camtasia, and that Camtasia on the screen is Camtasia 9. It had nothing to do with Camtasia 9 and everything to do with the parts that I replaced, so are the old parts that I had in the computer. So that one was an easy fix because I just removed that entire section. This one is, this was also easy to remove because this is my greeting. How's it going? Hey, how's it going? And then here's the click. And since there's a little bit of silence between here and over here when I start talking again, I can remove that little click sound. And usually it's here at the beginning, and I'm looking out for it when it's in editing. This is the beginning of Thing 79's video, so it comes right after my intro, and I pay special attention. I even look for the little audio blip that I can usually see, and it wasn't there, and I thought, well, that's weird. And then when it appeared after here, and I thought, that's even stranger. So that was just weird. So that's easy to get rid of. Also, you know, sometimes I would find an audio glitch and I would include it into a speeded up clip, and then I always silence the video for that and then add music, and then my viewers can enjoy the music and watch me fast forward it, you know, going through, like covering a box. Usually it's covering a box or something like that. But I don't always have audio glitches or distortions. I'm not always doing that. Like, just because it's a speeded up clip doesn't mean that there was an audio distortion in the video at that point. So, but that's sometimes a fix. So another way to do it is, I was going to show you, the other way is here with the knock knocks, is you can just do this, right click. If you're using Camtasia, you can separate audio from video, and then you can either select silence audio or delete, and oh, not that. Not that. You can just delete it if you want to. Just delete that, and it'll delete it, and then it won't play. So, but probably for this one, I'm not even on screen right now, so I could probably eliminate that portion of the video. So that's another way to fix it. So there are several different ways to fix those glitches and get them out of the way. Now, for those videos where you might be talking, or there's significant gameplay or something, if you're a gamer, or if something's going on and you need to have that sound in there, then you can mess around with the audio points. And I did that for, let's see, which one I'd show you for? This one. For this one, I wanted to do the total opposite. I wanted you to hear this thing here, and I wanted you to hear that. And but normally I would put the audio points down here and, you know, leave this as normal. So that's another thing. You mess around with the audio points and just kind of lower the volume or something, or that's another way to fix it. So there's several different ways to fix it. Now, how do you prevent it from happening altogether? Okay, I'm gonna put save that one right now. I wrote out the steps for me for my I have a Canon Vixia HF R800 camcorder, and it has no internal memory. And the Sony Handycam I think has 8 gigabytes of internal memory. And if you're running videos or long videos, then it's probably a very good idea to buy a larger memory card. It takes, the Canon one takes the micro SD card. So I went online and I researched how to get rid of audio noises or distorted sounds or something like that. And I came across Kim Olson's Memory Card Best Practices, 15 Things You Should Already Be Doing. And she writes about 15 things you should be doing. The only one I don't agree with is she recommends using a smaller card, but I don't recommend using a smaller card if you're going to be, video recording, because videos take up a lot of space. And she's a photographer, and she's talking about images. So images don't take up as much space as a video does. So for this one, she says what you should do is you should format your memory card. And the way to do that with the Canon is to initialize it. So initialize and format and even reformat are kind of synonyms of each other. With the Canon camcorder, you have to, and she also recommends doing it straight from the camera or camcorder. Don't do it from the computer. And she recommends that because the structure of the process might distort or might make it unreadable to the camera or the camcorder when you plug it back in, type of deal. So usually when I put my videos onto the computer from the camcorder, I do not take out the card and put that into the computer. I mean, I can, but I just keep it plugged in, or it's in the camcorder. I keep it in there, and I have a cable that runs from the camcorder to the computer. But I still initialize straight from the camcorder. So she recommends doing that. So with the Canon, you have to open up the screen panel on the camcorder, wait for it to open up and turn on, and then on the left side there's a home icon, so you click on that. Then you click on the other, I say click, but press on the other settings, and then find the icon. Other settings shows a screwdriver and a hammer. It's not always on that icon. Sometimes it's on the shooting mode icon for me. So I just have to, it's the very first icon when I go in there. So I click on that one, other settings, and then I press a tab that shows a wrench. There will be, I think, 3 tabs, and the last one is a wrench. So then you scroll down. Once you get in there, scroll down and you press initialize, and you'll see that there'll be an orange rectangle and there's nothing in it, which kind of was weird to me when I first did it. I'm like, how come it doesn't say anything like yes, no, or check mark, or what would it show? I don't know. But it just seemed weird that it didn't show anything. So I pressed that orange rectangle, and that takes me to the initialized screen. I think there are 2 initialized screens. So the first initialized screen, once you press initialize, show that wrench and you press initialize, then you see the first initialized screen, and you press that to clear all of the remaining data on the micro SD card. And then that opens up the second initialized screen, and there will be a no and a yes. And then right underneath yes, it shows complete initialization. So press that, and it's highlighted with like an orange vertical line right in front of the word complete. And this is encased in a rectangle. So after you do that, then you press yes, and all your data is cleared. Now the only drawback, and it's not really that big of a deal, is that I have to go back into settings and make sure that manual focus is selected, or make sure that I select manual focus after I do that, because it goes back to the P scene or auto scene or something. And I'll put this link in the description, and you can read up on the other 14 things you should already be doing. If you have an SD card for your camera, I don't think you're going to, and you're only using it for images and not, even if it has video capabilities, I don't think you're going to get audio distortions, but you might get visual distortions like double exposures and things like that. So also, one of the first things you should do if you get this camcorder, like I said, it does not come with an internal memory, so you have to get a micro SD. When you get the micro SD, format it right away. Don't wait. Don't put it, well, put it in the camera and then format it through the camcorder settings. And then, you know, shoot some video or whatever. If you do crafting like I do, then shoot some videos for crafts and stuff, and then plug it into the computer. Don't take the card out, just plug it into the computer and save your videos to the computer, and then unplug everything, and then go into the camcorder in the settings like I showed you, and initialize the SD card, the micro SD card. If you have another type of camcorder, it's not a Canon, maybe it's a Sony Handycam, or maybe it's a JVC, or I'm trying to think of other names of camcorders. I know they're out there. Then I recommend reading the manual, that particular part of the manual, to initialize or format. It might be called format for other brands. And that's it. That's all she wrote. I have to save this and exit out of it. And now we're going to do a sign off. What kind of day would you like to have? Now it's just a suggestion. And here's another suggestion or four. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Have an interesting day. Bye.